Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2020 and part 47 of our My Team career mode with Jordan GP. With 9 weeks to go until the new game comes out, and you can expect plenty of content on that. I'm planning on doing an episode of F1 2020 once a week so that we can finish off this series. Now you might be thinking, well, hang on a second, you've only done the first 3 Grand Prix of the year, and that's correct. It's a very correct assumption, and no, I'm not going to be doing 3 races an episode to get it all done, but what I am going to be doing is simulating some races. So we're going to try out the simulate feature. I've never ever used it in this game before, so we'll see how it goes, and I've picked 9 Grand Prix that we are going to have one final go at on this game before we move on to F1 2021. So I'll announce them now, and there'll be a little graphic come up on the screen as well. So we are going to be racing in Holland, the Dutch Grand Prix. We're going to do the Canadian Grand Prix as well, Austrian, Great Britain of course, Belgium, Italy, the USA, and the final round at Abu Dhabi. Now, depending on how things are going in the championship, we may well do the Brazilian Grand Prix instead of Abu Dhabi or whatever. I have no idea. You know, maybe this will be a terrible idea and we'll lose the championship. I have no idea how it's going to work. So we'll just have to see. And hopefully you guys are good and going to enjoy. So without further ado, let's get into the Chinese Grand Prix, which is going to be our first simulated event, and then we'll get into the Dutch Grand Prix a little bit later on. I do believe we
were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed the quality control.
Boo.
Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the R&D screen.
So some of the updates have failed. We're not going to do any of the
Hey boss, I think we could better manage our time by organising some team activities. Head to the activity screen to see what we have available.
Let's go for that. That's fine. Let's go back to the R&D screen. So, can we upgrade this one? No, we haven't got enough R&D points, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Right, let's advance again and see what we get. We have got some more R&D points now, so we can go back into this and update it. There you go. Brilliant. And that's an ultimate upgrade, actually, for the hydraulics, so that should really, really help us. Let's keep going.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through from the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Good stuff. Right, so let's head into the race weekend, and we'll see how the simulations go. I mean, as I say, it could be absolutely terrible, but I think it should be all right. I think we can simulate qualifying. I'm not entirely sure on that. We may have to do qualifying. We can definitely simulate the race, and we can definitely simulate practice. But qualifying, not so sure about. So we might actually have to play through qualifying. So let's have a little look. So there you go, simulate practice. We'll see what sort of R&D points we get out of it. Obviously, I'm not going to show you all these boring bits when we move on. I will just sort of flash up on the screen where we finished, if you like. But I thought for the first one we'd see how the simulation went. Plenty of R&D points, which is good. Lando Norris looking happy with himself. So qualifying 1, can we change it? I don't think we can. No, I was thinking maybe we could change qualifying, but apparently not. We'll have to change it at the start of the weekend next time to 1 shot, I think, if we can't simulate. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but let's have a look. No, apparently not. So we are going to have to do some qualifying. So I'll see you guys in Q1. Okay then, coming round the final corner, our first lap of the weekend. Where's it going to put us in Q1? Come up to the line and it's third place, a second off Max Verstappen. I don't think that's too bad, to be honest with you. It is starting to rain as well, so I don't think there'll be many improvements there, but we're ahead of the Ferraris. I think that should be enough to get through to Q2, which is quite amazing really. No practice whatsoever. We just jumped into the car and, well, stuck at a second behind Max Verstappen and purple in the first sector the following lap. So let's see how we get on in this second flying lap.
There's only one lap.
I'll see you at the end if there is any improvements. Well, here we come then. It's going to be a couple of tenths quicker. We come up to the line, and that is enough for fourth place. Which I think, as I say, should be enough to get through to Q2. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit wetter now. So let's get off the track and see where we come. So return to garage, and we'll accelerate the time a little bit. Down to 6th now, but still should be alright. Lando Norris obviously a lot quicker than us, dialed into the track, but we have got purple sector 1, so that's something to be pretty happy with. But there you go, straight through to Q2. Now if it's in the wet, that's going to be a lot more difficult, but we will try our very best. Okay, here we come then for our first lap in Q2. A little bit wide out of the final corner, still should be alright. We come up to the line. It's a 1:33.3, which is fastest for the moment. I wasn't expecting that, definitely wasn't. But we'll certainly settle for it. And it is very, very interesting because the rain's coming down. And whoever's got their laps in now is probably in the best position. Well, I mean, that was ridiculous. Ocon just broke in the middle of the corner there.
Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
Yeah, I think let's get off the track. Let's get ourselves back to the pits and see how that lap time fares against the other guys. I mean, we are still first and, well, we're just ahead of Lando Norris, so it's looking good so far. And as I say, with the rain, I don't see many, if any, improvements. So we should be easily through to Q3. And will anybody be surprised going out in Q2? I mean, it does look like, yeah, both McLarens are out. That's interesting. Sebastian Vettel's out as well, both Force Indias, and Pierre Gasly as well. Unbelievable, really. But, well, we're through comfortably to Q3. Pardon me. Is it still going to be dry weather conditions at the start of Q3, or are we going to have to switch to the inters? Let's see. No, it's still dry enough to get out there on the soft tyres, so here we go. Well, you can see the lap times are 8 seconds slower at the moment. We're coming around the final corner. What's it going to be? It's like treading on eggshells. This is going to be the best this track is for us, and there you go, 140.5. That's 0.5 of a second quicker than Lando Norris in P2. And I think this track is just going to slowly get worse. Well, there you go. We're already half a second down in this first sector. It is so slippy out there. It's so difficult to explain, but you can feel the car just skidding out on the pad. I am using a PS5 pad. I know, you know, they haven't updated it for PS5, but you can almost feel it slipping around on the track out there. And we're second down by the time we get to this middle sector. I just don't think... Oh, and we're on the marbles now. That's not going to help. So I think just nurse it back to the pits and hope for the best, really. But it may well be pole position, and I think it's all because of how early we got out there and had the track at its best. And took a few more risks than maybe some of the AI did, taking wider lines, giving ourselves every chance of gaining those key tenths on the straights. But wow, what a pole position this would be. But we'll just have to see how it goes. We're coming down the last corner now. Oh, well, we nearly spun it there and binned it into the wall, but coming into the Lewis Hamilton pit lane now. Oh my word, well, we do bin it this time.
Damage to your wing. Damage to your wing. Suggest we box to change it.
I suppose it was just so wet going into the pits that you know, we had no grip going into the corner. That's ridiculous, but yeah, we'll return to the garage. I don't want to force you guys to watch that, but that was crazy. Like, you know, the tyres completely locked up. We'll skip the repair time.
Car repairs have set us back a little.
Let's see where we're at. So we're still top of the standings and a full half second quicker than Lando Norris. I don't think we can go out there and yeah, they're on Inters now, so there's no point us going out. We're not going to improve our time, so let's just skip forward and see.
With qualifying finished,
Well, there
it's
you
time
go.
to remind ourselves of our top three. The captain, Norris, and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
There you go then. Pole position by 0.6 of a second in the end, in the wet weather. I think we can be very happy with that. I'll see you on the simulate screen. Then, let's simulate the action. And let's see how we get on. And if we finish 24th, I'll be very,
Let's
very
see what
annoyed.
effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Lando Norris takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Let's move on to the constructors. The owner drivers team moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So yeah, Lando Norris wins the Grand Prix and he takes a good lead in the drivers' standings. We're third at the moment, so yeah, I'm not too bothered about that, you know, finishing third. If we can do that in all of the simulated Grand Prix, that would be fantastic. And if we can win the 9 that we're taking part in, we're going to be in for a very, very exciting season. So I'll see you guys for qualifying in Holland.
Thanks so much for the invitation to your HQ. Let's have a little chat about the team's performance this season. Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? We've seen an amazing level of dedication from your second driver, both on and off the track. What would you say is the key to instilling that level of dedication? You're now one of the most competitive teams on the grid. What was the most important thing that helped you achieve this? Are you proud of your second driver's performance, or do you feel threatened? You've managed to negotiate contracts with new sponsors. How important is this fresh injection of cash to the team? Well, thanks so much as ever for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
Well, here we come then for our first flying lap around Zandvoort. For a long time, here we come. And it's a 1:10.5, which is fairly slow to be fair. But for your first flying lap of the weekend around a track like this, well, you need to be dialed in. That's not too bad. And hopefully, we can improve on that in this second flying lap. Well, a much better lap this time. Look at this. 8 tenths quicker, and that puts us 4th place. Very, very good. I think we can be pretty happy with that. And you know, we are going to improve throughout this qualifying session. We might as well stay out there, just learn the track a little bit more, learn where we need to brake to get the optimal performance. Now this corner here, I think there's so much time to be gained by finding the perfect braking spot. But yeah, we're 6 tenths down now. I think the tyres have maybe given up. But that's fine. Okay, as you can see, easily through to Q2 in 7th place. Only 8 tenths off Lando Norris in pole position at the moment. But yeah, hopefully we can get through to Q3 and get a good qualifying spot. Well, here we come then, round the final corner of our Q2 lap. What's it going to be? It feels a lot better than what we have been doing. It's a 109.2, which is currently fastest. So we'll certainly settle for that, and I think that should be enough to get through to Q3. But I do remember our first season here in the rain, and we qualified 2nd in the end, didn't we? Because Max Verstappen put in a terrific lap to steal pole from us at the final moment. But it really was a brilliant weekend, that, and you know, we finished 5th, I think, in the race. And got a decent batch of points, which in our first season was much needed. And, you know, I've had a great love for this track. It's fast, it's furious, and you need to be completely on the limit to do well, and I for one really, really like it. 108.8 from Max Verstappen is currently quickest now. But, you know, I think we should be alright. To work out when on earth we get down to the limit, and there you go. I think that should be enough to get through Q3, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Well, easily through to Q2, but look at that time from Lando Norris. 7 tenths quicker than anyone else. A 108.1. He is going to be tough to beat this weekend, and in the championship, to be fair. Sebastian Vettel in 11th there, Lance Stroll 12th, Gasly 13th, Ricciardo 14th, Magnussen 15th, and Nick de Vries, the final man, eliminated. Well, here we come then. Up to the line for our pole position lap. This slipstream from Perez is surely going to help. And it is a 108.8, which matches Max Verstappen's time from Q2. But nowhere near the time of Lando Norris. But Lewis Hamilton is the man sandwiching us at the moment. But we'd certainly take P3. Although Verstappen has just popped up into P2. I think there is certainly time to be gained on our second run, so we'll get back in the pits, reduce the amount of fuel, and really go for it in the final lap of this qualifying session. But 3rd place, I think we'd settle for that. Well, this has felt like an incredible lap. Here we come, up to the line. We are gaining time. 4 tenths of it. And the quickest final sector. Where does it put us? It puts us 3rd. And I said we'd settle for 3rd. And I think that's possibly the best we could have got out of it. If Verstappen's 2nd at least.
Qualifying complete,
which he's not.
Let's review our top 3 today. Norris, Bottas, and the captain. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
I mean, that was an unbelievable lap of 108.4, considering that was our 5th completed lap of the weekend. I still don't think we'd have got anywhere near Lando. I had to push so hard there. There was a couple of lockups in Sector 1, which I think may have caused us an issue, but we did really, really well through the middle and final sector. Maybe there was a 10th or two on the plate, but not 8/10. Lando Norris has absolutely smashed it out of the park, and we'll see how he gets on in race day.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside at races across Europe and throughout the world. Now, at long last, they have a Grand Prix to call their own. It's a warm welcome once again to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6-mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to try and overtake. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have the captain, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Verstappen, Leclerc, Kvyat, Ocon, and Sergio Perez, Vettel, Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and Ricciardo, Magnussen, De Vries, Nicholas Latifi, and Roman Grosjean. Albon, Russell, Schumacher, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
There you go then. Wonderful grid that we've got. And
After the
this is
points
going to be
finish
a
last
cracker.
race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
I really do think so. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get into the race. Obviously, we got our formation lap. Got to get ourselves
We're not
off
seeing
the
any
grid better than that,
technical issues
hopefully.
coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want to bog down.
Oh my word. Well, that is not what we want at the start of the race. I was too busy trying to work out how to stop the front wing from being fixed at the pit stop. Goodness me, we had no grip. I guess with gravel on the tyres, but good job there's no damage on the formation lap, otherwise we'd have been in a bit of a pickle, to say the least.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
We obviously need to regain our position on the grid before we get there. And that's not going to be easy. Well, we managed to just about make it through. Ah, no, we didn't want to go past Bottas. Oh, that is annoying. Well, we've been... Yeah, it was because Hamilton was in 4th. But yeah, of course, we were still in 3rd, and well, now we're off the formation lap, which is a big pity. So we have to wait here. And, well, Bottas doesn't get that treatment. But here they come. Lando Norris ghosts through us, and then Bottas in 2nd. We're 3rd. Hamilton 4th, but we're going to have the coldest tyres, and look at that, we have got a bit of grass on our tyres as well. I mean, it always sort of jumps before the start of the race anyway, but well, here we go. It didn't jump this time. Lights out, away we go here. in Zandvoort. It's not a bad start off the grid, but Hamilton is there. I'm going to have to take the outside route around turn 1 and hold it. Wow, Hamilton through. We just seem to have no grip, and this is what happened on the formation lap. And that is a poor start. Down to 4th, that is a disaster. Well, coming on to lap 3, and look, we have closed in on Hamilton this time. Next lap, we will have DRS.
Will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And at this stage of the race, we do seem quicker than the Mercs, which is good. Lando Norris, by the way, has bolted. He's done a Sebastian Vettel. Well, look at this. We got the slipstream. We got the DRS. Hamilton got DRS as well. Little dummy move, but nothing comes of it. But if Bottas can get out of the 1 second window to Hamilton, that will give us the chance we need, you feel. But they are holding us up a little bit here, the Mercedes. Well, this has got to be the chance. Look at this. We're right in the gearbox of Lewis Hamilton. Here we go. He goes to the inside. And we go around the outside. And we're through. Excellent move on our compatriot, Lewis Hamilton. And we make it back into 3rd place, which is where we qualified, of course. And now for Valtteri Bottas. Should be a little bit easier because he won't have the DRS, so that's what we've got to go for. Here we go then. May not get it this lap. I don't think we're close enough, but with the DRS, maybe the difference in speed will be enough.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Again, a little dummy just to freak him out a little bit. And you can see he's sliding about, is Bottas, so the Mercedes car definitely not got the race pace at the moment that they would have been expecting.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Okay, so we are going to come into the pits this lap, so drop back a little bit from Bottas here, because he's probably going to come in as well. No, he doesn't. But we're in, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Battle of the pit stops. He's been held up. And we're away.
Go now.
Well ahead.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Just got to be a bit careful on this pit exit because people come straight out, and I didn't realise that was where the white line was. Only a warning though, which is good. Now then, we got to get past these guys, otherwise
moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Otherwise Bottas is going to come out ahead. Now he might get held up in the pit stops as well, who knows, but this traffic certainly is going to help him rather than us. Here we go then, we got DRS. Where's Bottas? He's there. We're around the outside and we're through. We're through on Valtteri Bottas. Well, that is hugely important, especially because these guys have stayed out just ahead of us. He could have come out ahead of these two and caused a real problem, but we've come out ahead of Valtteri Bottas now. This has been one of my favourite races of the career mode so far. This has been brilliant. Well, with Stroll and Gasly in the pits, now the real work starts. We got to try and catch Lando Norris. And whether we'll be able to do that or not, I have no idea. 5.1 seconds the gap. Let's see how we get on. Way, fastest lap of the race. Well, that's
that was
nice.
The fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
But Lando is putting in very similar lap times, so we're not going to catch him, but at least we're going to take that extra point off him as it stands. Unless somebody comes into the pits and puts on a set of soft tyres to maybe steal it back. But, you know, we've had a very, very consistent race pace here. Very, very good. Overall, somebody has
Keep
retired.
pushing. We need to reduce the 5-second gap to the car ahead. Green flag.
Not sure who it is. It's somebody behind, I think. But, yeah, Lewis Hamilton actually. So one of the contenders for the title is out, and that's a big moment, you would feel, for him and his championship chances. But yeah, you know, it doesn't
We're
look like
increasing
we're
our
going to
gap
get
on the car behind by around a second a lap.
anything better than second position today. So I think, you know, look after the car, make sure that we get to the end, and well, I'll take you guys through the final lap when it comes. Well, drat. Lando Norris has just set the fastest lap of the race. I've just noticed, actually, he's been on the hard tyre in the second stint. He has been in another league to the rest of the field this Grand Prix. You know, Bottas was nowhere near in the first stint. Maybe if we'd got past Bottas at the start, maybe we could have stayed closer to Lando.
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
Because we have been lapping fairly similarly. Obviously that last lap we just saved some fuel, but yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to... Well, I was going to say we're not going to be able to get fastest lap, but we have gone purple in the first sector, so let's try everything, because that point could come in crucial at the end of the season. Yeah, and a green second sector, so this could be good. A little bit wide there, don't think we're going to do it. But here we go, onto the final straight. Lando sets another fastest lap. Are we going to manage it? Here we come, up to the line. Oh, that was close. That was close.
Good job, mate.
But a
Really
very,
well
very
done.
good
That was a fantastic
drive, and we finished second in the end. Lando Norris, too good. Too good.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here in Zandvoort, but they have done, and done it in spectacular style. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Well, Lando Norris is looking like a world champion in the making. It is going to be tough to beat him this season. What a Grand Prix from him.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Lando Norris takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Sebastian Vettel would definitely be my first choice. He showed up a lot of the drivers out on the track today and didn't show any signs of slowing down. All respect to the fans' choice, they fully deserve it, but I just feel that my pick had a little more on their plate, so their ability to keep a cool head and come through for such a strong finish made the difference, at least in my opinion.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, there you go then. 21 points now, the lead for Lando Norris. That is absolutely terrific. But what a Grand Prix it's been, and what a lead we are getting in the Constructors. It looks like it's going to be a fairly comfortable Constructors title for us, you feel, this season. But Lando Norris in terrific form. And he is going to be really tough to stop. And we've got quite a few simulations coming up. He could build a huge lead in the World Championship before we get back to Canada, I think, which will be the next episode. So we've got Spain, Monaco and Azerbaijan, where we'll be simulating between the events, and hopefully we can stay in contact with Lando. But then we've got Canada, Austria and Great Britain, where we've got a great chance to pull out a lot of points. Belgium and Italy as well. So after Canada, there's only 2 simulations up until Italy. So 5 races in 7. If we can win those, that will really close the gap. But I'm really excited. I think this simulation twist on this season will make it really, really interesting. And we're already on the back foot, and we've got to push hard. That was a fantastic race. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully you did too. If you did, leave it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for more F1 content in the future. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.